Hello students, a very good evening to everyone. Let us start with our subject self-development and art appreciation. Today we will see the fourth chapter social leadership, the power of one. Okay, now what is leadership? Leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. So it's called as leadership. And what is social leadership? Social leadership means a person who work for society. Here we have the definition of social leadership, a leadership style utilized by a person who may or may not be the formal leader, who utilizes their strong social capital and core social skills to motivate, inspire and lead others, is called as social leadership. That he works for the society and he uses his social capital or social skills to inspire and to motivate others, and he should be able to convey his message towards the people. Okay, the person who is going to be lead a group or who is the leader of the group should have the qualities like communication skills, the social skills, like he should be able to understand the feeling of other peoples, and he should have the empathy and provide a vision and establish a effective organizational structure and communication protocol, and he should be able to inspire and motivate others. So these all are the qualities which the leader should have. The next is social web. Open your textbook. You can pause the video to open your book. Okay, here one activity is given. The activity is about students who are holding a rope and they have a chits along with them. Okay, we have to make a 10 chits before this activity. Then, and in each cheat we have to write a word like man, river, hair, birds, pollution, plastic, animal, water, trees, and soil. After writing words, distribute the sheets between 10 students, make them stand in a circle, take a bundle of long thread, give the bundle of thread to the first student. The student who has a bundle of thread should hold the one end of the thread with tightly and start the game. He or she should then pass the bundle to anybody else in the circle and ask what is written on the other student's sheet. The first student should then say how the word on their sheets are connected. For example, first word birds. The second word is tree. The sentence can be birds make nest on trees. Or if the first student has the word pollution, the second student has the word rivers, the sentence can be pollution harms the river. So in this way, repeat the same activity till the 10 students are covered at least once. It will create a web as shown in the picture. Tap at different places on the web and observe what happens. If you will tap at any one of the web, what happens? It will create a vibration and it will be felt by everybody. This shows that everything in the environment is connected to one another. Any change in one element will have an impact on others. That means we all are interdependence. Now what is interdependence? We are dependent on each other. For example, people in the cities depend on people in the villages for cultivating food crops. Raw materials required for many urban cities comes from mines in rural areas. Thus, problems of people in rural parts can create problems for people in urban parts and vice versa. That means we all are interdependents. Okay, here some problems are given. Will these problems affect us? Let us see the first one. Increased use of vehicles leads to global warming. Okay, suppose if you are living in one of the state, for example, Bhopal, or you are living in India, and India is facing a global warming. That doesn't mean that only India is going to be face that problem. The nearby countries, one day the whole world will face the same problem. It cannot be limited to that place. it will be create the problem for the whole world or the whole state or all the whole country. The next is inefficient disposal of plastic leads to plastic accumulation in the soil, which makes it infertile. Of course, it will be problem for everyone, whether the people are in rural or whether the people are in urban, because we are totally dependent on agriculture. If the land is infertile, that means there is a decrease in crop production. So it will create problem for everyone. The next is scarcity of resources in some parts of the country leads the people to give up farming and migrate to towns and cities in search of jobs. Will it affect you? Yes, absolutely, it's going to be affect us. If people from rural to cities migration if occurs, then the people will not be there for agriculture, and in cities also it will create a problem. It will generate unemployment, it will increase the slum areas in cities, and it creates a problem like unhygienic conditions, crime, pollution. So these all are the problems faced during migration. Different ways of bringing in social changes. There are many ways in which an individual can contribute to social change. There are few examples given below. The first is community service. Providing essential services which are found to be lacking in the society is a way of bringing in social change. For example, Baba Amte is known for the selfless service he providing to patients suffering from leprosy who were treated as outcast at that time. So he has done a selfless service to the people who are suffering from the leprosy. The next is creating infrastructure. Implementing project to offer long-term solutions to problems is another way of bringing social change. Here one example is given of Dr. Rajendra Singh has been instrumental in building close to 4,500 small dams called Johats through the people's participation in Rajasthan. His work has had a great impact in rising groundwater level. So he has solved the problem of water crisis over there. So it is a bringing social change. It is another way of bringing social change. The next is research. Developing new solutions for eradicating or removing social problems through research is a very effective way of bringing in social change. Here, one example is given. Dr. Abhay and Dr. Rani Bang have been instrumental in reducing child death among children who developed pneumonia in Gadchiroli district. It was because of their research and efforts that the death rate amongst infants due to pneumonia was brought down. So it is also a way of bringing social change. The next is activism. Creating awareness about the rights, responsibilities, and needs of a community and uniting the community to fight for their rights can also bring in social change. The next is the power of one. Okay, you must be heard about the story of Mulai Jadhav. He was a man who has converted the land which was barren land into a forest that was 1360 acres. That means many people come together to destroy the forest, but a single person, if determined, can establish a new forest. That this is the power of one man. So let us see the more examples on this. The first we have here Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel laureate. She was just 15 when she dared to challenge the Taliban ban against girls going to school in the northwest region of Pakistan. She has been tirelessly working for women's education and empowerment. So this is one of the inspirational story of Malala. Now let's see the next one. The next story is about Dashrath Manji. Galore is a small village in Bihar. This is about a man who was living in Galore. The path from the village to the nearest town was blocked by rocky hills. The villagers had to walk 50 kilometers to reach the town. Okay, the Dashrath Manji, a native of the Galore village, bought a hammer and a chisel and started cutting the rocks of the hill. Everyone laughed at him, ridiculed him, and told him it was not possible. He refused to be demotivated. It took him 22 years to cut a road through the hill, but he did it. After that, everybody used that short way to come that to walk or to cross that city. He did this difficult task like cutting the rocks of the hills because he was having a determination, he was having faith that one day he will definitely going to be get a success in this. So that's why he got a success. So let us read one more story. It's about Bindeshwar Patak. Is a social reformer working in the fields of sanitation and waste management. He established Sulabh International, a social service organization. Earlier, a lot of people, especially women, faced great difficulty due to unavailability of public toilets. Sulabh has been building toilets at public places like bus stands, parks, etc. Bindeshwar Patak has been awarded the Padma Bhushan by the Government of India for his great work. Okay, personal change project. As once Mahatma Gandhi said, if you want to see changes in the world, be the change first. That is, be the change you wish to see in the world. When one thinks of creating a change in the society, one should first begin with changing herself or himself. It helps to gain confidence to convince others to join in. If you are doing a good thing or if you are following a right path, that means you will be able to convince other to follow the same route. It helps to gain the personal change project has to be completed individually. That is because it is of personal change, so it depends on it. The decisions are taken by an individual. Okay, some personal changes project: reducing electricity, petrol, water consumed per month. Here, personal changes means here the group will not be required. A person can make a changes as per his requirement or as per his need. Reducing your mother's or father's workload by 1 hour every day. Teaching somebody to read and write for an hour every day. Making progress in a subject that you are lagging behind. Helping your brother or sister or friend in his or her studies for an hour every day. Start segregating home waste into organic and inorganic, making manure from organic waste. So these all are the small changes you can bring or in your life to make a personal change projects. Now, community change projects. The steps for implementing the project have been outlined below. Okay, here you will be needing a group of people to accomplish or to achieve a goal. The step 1 is identifying social problem. It is important to identify a problem in order to bring about a change. If you want bring about any change, you should be able to identify the problem. The step 2, choosing a problem to work on. Examine all the problems listed out by you and ask yourself following question. Is the problem too big to undertaken? For example, making everybody in your city literate. Like this, if the problem is very big, which is not under your control. So you have to decide whether you are able to complete or not the task. Is a problem too small to be taken? For example, planting a trees in one's own backyard. It's a small plant. It's a small task. Will your group be able to raise the required resources like money and manpower? Do you have necessary expertise for it? Will you able to measure the change you make? So these all are the question you should ask yourself before selecting any topic or selecting any project. Step 3. Clearly articulate the problem in words. Articulate the problems means the problem is you should be uh, like show the you should be able to show the problem. For example, the problem is illiteracy. We want to make 5 people literate so that they would be able to read and write simple sentences. The problem is this, we want to, so that means the problem is illiteracy, and we want to solve the problem by literacy, by teaching them a sentence. Think of a solution. Brainstorming for ideas within group. Consult your teachers, parents to solve the identified problem. For example, in case of adult illiteracy, the solution could be encouraging adults to become literate, teaching these adults at a convenient time. Your solution will depend a lot on whom you are working with and what suits them. The next step is present the plan. Prepare a plan about how you will implement the solution. Present the plan to your classmates and feedback or the members of the group which you have. The step 6, implement solution. This is the toughest part. You might face obstacles or problems and would have to make your own way around them. Ask your teacher or parents for guiding whatever you feel stuck. Step 7, measure the change. Review whether you have been able to make some changes. Any small improvement from where you started is also a success. If possible, try to quantify, verbalize the changes. The next step is document the change. Wherever possible, take pictures or get a letter of appreciation from the people who have benefited. Attach all this in your notebook. And the last step, pat your back. Don't mind if you are getting success or not. It is important that at least you tried, and you should be appreciate, or you should be pat your back for the efforts which you have put. If you think you have done your best, pat each other's back. Hope you understood this chapter, students. If you have any doubts, you can ask your doubts in doubt clearing section. Thank you.